Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the second installment of superhero movie franchises that arguably surpassed their predecessors. Not to get too technical, but we'll be looking at direct sequels within franchises. For example, we're not considering The Avengers as a sequel to Iron Man.
Trust me, you're gonna be in a puddle of blood on the ground in 5, 4, 3, come on! 2!
How did we get this ship?
Number 10, X2.
Excuse me, sir. Are you lost?
Was there any other way to kick things off than with one of the best opening scenes in any movie ever? Once named Empire Magazine's best comic to film adaptation ever made, X2 does exactly what a sequel is precisely meant to do. Remind fans what they loved about its predecessor, while taking that and deepening it.
So, what are they?
The angelic symbols, passed on to mankind by the Archangel Gabriel.
They're beautiful.
Indeed, much like X-Men before it, X2 examines themes of social injustice and systemic discrimination, but this time in an even bolder and more clear-cut way. The follow-up to the film that arguably launched the modern-day cinematic superhero takeover, this sophomore effort delivers without going through the motions and arguably captures the franchise at its peak.
Ollie, have you tried not being a mutant?
Number 9, The Suicide Squad.
I'm not joining your goddamn Suicide Squad.
We'll see.
When Warner Brothers poached Guardians of the Galaxy writer-director James Gunn from Marvel Studios, they gave him free rein to adapt any DC comic that interested him. Gunn decided to fulfill a career goal and make a Suicide Squad movie, but only if he could go all out and make the hard R adaptation he had longed for.
She infected me. Now if I don't, expel the dots twice a day,
Then what?
they'll eat me alive.
The studio obliged, so Gunn took that and ran with it. The result is The Suicide Squad, a standalone follow-up to David Ayer's 2016 Suicide Squad that blows Ayer's original film away. Recruiting a murderer's rogue cast to bring this gang of lowlifes to, well, life, Gunn's sequel is hilarious, violent, and occasionally hilariously violent. Above all, it's a rip-roaring good time.
I have prepared lunch. Would you be so kind as to join me?
Number 8, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
We mourn the loss of our king, but do not think for a second that Wakanda has lost her ability to protect our resources.
As if expectations for the sequel to Marvel Studios' first Best Picture nominee weren't high enough, series star Chadwick Boseman's tragic 2020 passing presented a monumental challenge to the film's cast and crew.
If you go to war for vengeance, it will not fill the hole left from her loss. It will only grow larger, and it will consume you.
It already has.
Thankfully, director Ryan Coogler managed to pull it off with aplomb, crafting a film that not only continues the first Black Panther story in a captivating way, but satisfyingly pays tribute to the series' fallen lead. Even still, Wakanda Forever went beyond a Best Picture nomination and landed Angela Bassett, who plays Queen Ramonda, an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, a first for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
This changes everything that we know. The Great Mound, all of the legends and fables. Those stories are seared in my mind.
That sounds very painful.
Number 7, Blade 2.
Well, let me get this right. You want me to hunt them for you?
When they have finished with us, what do you think they'll turn on next?
As if that wasn't enough twos for you, this supernatural anti-hero sequel was released on March 22nd. Directed by future Oscar winner Guillermo del Toro, Wesley Snipes returns as the titular vampire hunter in a second installment that, while received lukewarmly at the time, has since evolved into a camp classic of the superhero genre. The Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water director was the perfect choice to elevate an already groundbreaking character who, in almost every way, bucks tradition.
You have been our most feared enemy, but now there's something else loose on the streets. Something worse than you.
Unsurprisingly, it's all tied together by Snipes and his steely, cooler-than-cool performance. The guy clearly eats, sleeps, and breathes Blade. Oh, and by the way, we checked, and February 22nd was a Friday that year. Missed opportunity, New Line Cinema.
Hey, me and the gang were wondering.
What was that?
Can you blush?
Number 6, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut.
There you go.
Again!
No, I'm sorry. Only one ride to a customer.
The fact that Mario Puzo, author of the book that The Godfather is based on, co-wrote this screenplay isn't the most interesting thing about it. That says a lot about the troubled production of Superman 2, from which original director Richard Donner was fired. Later known for directing the Goonies and the Lethal Weapon films, Donner oversaw this director's cut, restoring his original vision of a follow-up to the first Superman film, also directed by him.
You will bow down before me, Jor-El! I swear it! No matter that it takes an eternity, you will bow down before me!
This version was praised by American cinematographer for, quote, offering a more consistent balance between adventure and romance. Not to mention a clearer understanding of what audiences loved about Donner's first film.
Well, darn it, I don't have anything to apologize for. I'm a good reporter. No, I'm a very good reporter. And an even better friend to you.
Number 5, Batman Returns.
Take one step closer, Mr. Man-Bat. You missed.
When Warner Brothers allowed Tim Burton unprecedented creative control on the sequel to 1989's Batman, he turned his signature style all the way up, coming up with a characteristically spooky, gothic take on the character. Case in point, it's a dark, snowy Christmas movie that came out in the middle of June.
And the truth frightened her?
Well, there are two truths. You know, and she had trouble reconciling them because I had trouble, reconciling them.
That being said, Burton's creative risks pay off. Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito are simultaneously off-putting and instantly memorable, turning in groundbreaking performances as Catwoman and the Penguin, respectively.
But it's human nature to fear the unusual.
A financial and critical disappointment at the time of its release, owing largely to its horror-tinged tone that alienated audiences, Batman Returns has since made its comeback as a cult classic of the genre. Number 4, Logan.
I know a damn speciation when I see one.
What?
Speciation. New mutant, a young one. There are forces trying to kill them. They want help.
Set in a dystopian possible future, Logan pushed the boundaries of what audiences had to this point expected from the X-Men franchise and superhero movies as a whole. Starring an Oscar-worthy Hugh Jackman, the film benefits greatly from his chemistry with newcomer Daphne Keane. In a rare sign of acknowledgement of the superhero genre by the Academy, Scott Frank, James Mangold, and Michael Green were nominated for an Oscar for the film's screenplay.
Except one was missing a hand, another one a leg. So they was thinking it was either an escaped tiger or Freddy Krueger.
Although 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine negates Jackman's claim that he would be hanging up his claws for good, it can't be denied that Logan, as directed by Mangold, is an impressively gritty, mature, and above all, heartfelt superhero story.
You read these in your spare time? Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Number 3, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Watching this MCU installment will make you realize precisely why Kevin Feige was right to entrust the keys to the franchise to Joe and Anthony Russo. A riveting action thriller before you add its superhero genre trappings, Winter Soldier also famously drew from 70s conspiracy flicks like 3 Days of the Condor, even casting that film's lead, Oscar winner Robert Redford, in a nod to the Russo brothers' influences.
I don't care about one boat, I care about the fleet. If this council is going to fall to rancor every time someone pushes us on the playing field, maybe we need someone to oversee us.
We'd be foolish not to mention that the film presented fans with the best action sequences of the entire series. Employing stunts and practical effects, combined with razor-sharp fight choreography, the Russos managed to craft a sequel that outshined its predecessor.
Au revoir.
Number 2, Spider-Man 2.
Cool Spidey outfit. Thanks.
Where'd you get it? I made it.
Can you believe that for Sam Raimi's sequel, the role of the titular web-slinger was almost filled by none other than Jake Gyllenhaal? While the Oscar nominee is a great actor, Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker is the heart and soul of Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. While Tom Holland's Spidey is good fun, Raimi and Maguire's second outing is a finely tuned masterpiece of blockbuster filmmaking, building on the world established in the first film while ascending to new heights of heroism in the process.
You're getting on my nerves.
I have a knack for that.
Not anymore.
Spider-Man 2 beautifully captures the spirit of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's comics by tapping into Parker's humanity and what drives him, elevating Maguire's portrayal of the character into an everyman that all of us can root for.
I'm worried about you. You're so alone. And I saw the letter from the bank. Oh my.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Thor Ragnarok. Director Taika Waititi's threequel breathed electrifying new life into the God of Thunder's world.
He transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So I went to pick up the snake to admire it, and he transformed back into himself, and he was like, yeah, it's me. And he stabbed me. We were 8 at the time.
Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Guillermo del Toro really has a knack for nailing sequels, doesn't he?
I suppress each photo. Cell phone videos. They cost me a fortune, and they show up on YouTube. God, I hate YouTube.
Avengers Infinity War. A $2 billion masterclass in upping the stakes.
Where is Gamora?
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora?
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Tell me where the girl is, or I swear to you, I'm gonna French fry this little freak.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, The Dark Knight.
We found the bulk of the dirty cash.
Time to move in.
I'd have to hit all banks simultaneously. SWAT teams, backup. What about this Joker guy?
One man or the entire mob. He can wait.
Yeah, you saw this one coming, but can you blame us? We're literally talking about the first Oscar-winning superhero film here. The highest-grossing film of 2008 was highly anticipated by fans after Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins turns out to not only be a smash hit, but a critical success too. While some internet commenters were initially unconvinced by Heath Ledger's casting as the Joker, the Australian actor defied all expectations, winning a posthumous Academy Award for his gripping performance.
All right, so listen, why don't you give me a call when you want to start taking things a little more seriously? Here's my card.
Taking influence from Heat, Jaws, and The Godfather, Nolan imbued the Batman franchise with a depth and thoughtfulness that gave audiences something to chew on that wasn't just popcorn. This sequel isn't just a great superhero movie, it's great cinema, period.
Then why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No.
Did we forget your favorite superhero movie sequel? Are there any sequels that you think are even better than the first? Don't hesitate to let us know in the comments below.
Hey, you guys. No playing in the streets.
Yes, Mr. Spider-Man.
See ya.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.